نعم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله، وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. حياكم الله وبارك فيكم. Naam. So today, bi'idhnillah, we shall, as you all know, carry on with this great treaty, DaaruSsunnah, Imam Ahmed, and the sharh, the explanation by Shaykh Rabi' Hafidhullah Ta'ala. Naam. So today it might be slightly long. We'll see how we go. We're going only to do 1 point. Yeah, it's only one nutqah. Yeah, only 1 point to mention, and then we'll round it off there, bi'idhnillah, inshallah. So today's point. Now, today's point is Al-Qur'anu kalamullah laysa bimakhluq. Naam, Al-Qur'anu kalamullah laysa bimakhluq. So, the Qur'an is the speech of Allah, and it is not created. Yeah, the Qur'an is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is not created. So the Shaykh, he begins. وهذه القضية كما تعرفون قضية خطيرة جدا. And this very issue here, as you all know, is a very, very serious and likewise dangerous issue. And it goes on. قضية القول بخلق القرآن. The statement or the issue of one saying that the Quran is if you like, speech of Allah. Yeah, the Quran is created. So, the issue of claiming that the Quran is created, as you all are aware, is very serious. A great trial occurred for the people of the Sunnah due to this issue. نعم. قامت عليها مهنة عظيمة لأهل السنة والجماعة وعلى رأسهم الإمام أحمد وعلى رأسهم إمام أحمد. So he goes on to say, this great trial occurred for the people of Sunnah, and due to this issue, due to this very issue here, which at the head of them, of those who sustained great difficulty and tribulations, was the great Imam Ahmed, rahmatullahi alayhi. Yeah? So the Quran is the speech of Allah and not created. This is the title for today. وقع فيها السجن وضرب وقتل. قام بذلك الجهمية والمعتزلة في أهد المأمون والمعتصم والواثق. So during this trial, people were imprisoned, tortured, and beaten, and likewise killed. All of this was done by the Jahmiyyah and the Mu'tazila. The Jahmiyyah and the Mu'tazila, two deviated parties, from Islam. Well, that's somewhat deviated from true Islam. And this happened during the time of Ma'mun, Mu'tasim, and Wathiq. These were three leaders at the time of Imam Ahmed. نعم في عهد الثلاثة الخلفاء من العباسيين امتهنت الأمة مهنة عظيمة بالجهمية والمعتزلة وأهل الضلال وتسلطوا على أهل السنة. So during three different leaderships from the Abbasian dynasty, the Islamic Ummah was put through a great trial by the way of, like you mentioned, the Jahmiyyah and the Mu'tazila and other people of misguidance, Ahl al-Dalal, and deviation, where they gain power over the people of Sunnah. وَتَسَلَّطُوا عَلَىٰ أَهْلِ السُّنَّةِ. They gain power over Ahl al-Sunnah. ولكن كتب الله العاقبة للمتقين. فصبر إمام أحمد والصابر تحمل الضرب والسجن والمطاعب الشديدة التي لا تطيقها الجبال. So but in the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed the good would be for his pious servants. The end would be a good result for the pious servants. Imam Ahmed exerted immense patience, persevering upon imprisonment, torture, and beatings, and severe burdens that even the mountains would not be able to bear. فرفع الله مكانته وأعلى منزلته وصار Imam Ahmed Imam Ahlus-Sunnah بحق. So he goes on to say, so Allah raised his level and status. Yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised the level of Imam Ahmed and his status, eventually becoming the Imam of Ahlus-Sunnah, yani a true Imam of Ahlus-Sunnah. And there is no one who raises their head for the Sunnah and the banner of the Sunnah except that he is honored to be a great Imam. نعم فلا يرفع أحد رأسه بالسنة والرياة السنة إلا واعتز بانتمائه إلى هذا الإمام العظيم وعز الله الإسلام بأبي بكر يوم الردة وبأحمد يوم المهنة كما قال بعض السلف رحمه الله وجزاءه أحسن الجزاء. So he goes on to say, after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored this great Imam, Imam Ahmed, Allah gave honor to Islam. Yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave honor to Islam by way of Abu Bakr on the day, يعني the Hurub al-Ridda, the days of apostasy when he was fighting people that fell into apostasy. And likewise, he honored Imam Ahmed the day of the trial, yeah? Yawm al-Mihna, or Yawm al-Mihna. As some of the pious predecessors, the Salaf have mentioned, may Allah show him mercy and give him the best of rewards. نعم فالقرآن والسنة يدلان على أن القرآن كلام الله تكلم به سبحانه وتعالى. Yeah, so the Quran and the Sunnah are both indicative of the fact that the Quran is a speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. وأوحاه إلى جبريل وجبريل بلغه إلى محمد والله يتكلم متى شاء وإذا شاء. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he revealed it to Jibreel alayhi salam. Yeah? To Jibreel alayhi salam, yeah? Jazakallah khair. Yes, Jazakallah khair. Give it too much. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. محسنين إن شاء الله. Jazakallah khair. Yeah. So he goes on to say, Allah revealed it to Jibreel alayhi salam, who connected it to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah speaks when and if he wills. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks and when he wills. We're going to go into that a bit later, inshallah. وَمِن كَلَامِهِ الَّذِي لَا تَفْنِي الْبِحَارِ. So he goes on to say, from his speech is that which would not be exhausted by the seas. As he mentions in the ayah, قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفذ كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا. So from his speech, as it says in the translation of the verse, say, if the sea were ink for writing the words of my Lord, surely the sea would be exhausted. But before the words of my Lord, yeah, surely the sea will be exhausted before the words of my Lord. Yani would be finished, yeah, before the words of my Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala will be finished, even if we brought forth another sea like it for its aid. And then he goes and says, فمن كلامه الكتب المنزلة لإصلاح البشر ولهدايتهم. And from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's speech, likewise, are the books which he revealed to mankind, yeah, for their guidance. ولإنقاذهم من الضلال وللمقاصد والغايات الحكمة التي لا يعلمها إلا هو سبحانه وتعالى. So he goes on to say, in order to save them from misguidance, yeah, and for other aims and goals that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. لغايات الحكيمة عفوا التي لا يعلمها إلا هو سبحانه وتعالى. That's in and of itself another lesson. Yani the hikmah behind trials and why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does this and that, that in and of itself is another lesson. Just to make mention of that very point there, sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He does things to the khalq and He doesn't mention the wisdom behind it because it's not from wisdom always to mention it. Yeah? And that's another lesson. We'll maybe do that another time, inshallah, bi'idhnillah. So we should try to little. Naam. So then he goes on to say, هذا من رحمته ومن حكمته ومن مقتضيات ربوبيته. Yeah? من حكمته ومن مقتضيات ربوبيته. أن يحيى أن يحيى إلى الرسل وينزل عليهم الكتب لتصلح بهم حياتهم وتستقيم عليها حياتهم ويتأهلون بوحي هذه الكتب والعمل بها ومقتضاها لدخول الجنة ومرضاة رب العالمين ومن خالفها وعاندها تقوم عليها الحجة ويستحق جزاء الكافرين والمتكبرين وهو خلود في النار كما تحدث الله عن ذلك. نعم. So he goes on to say, this is all from His mercy, yeah, wisdom and prerequisites of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's lordship, rububiyyah, the lordship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rububiyyah, as the ulama have mentioned, rububiyyah is to single out Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His actions, yeah, that you single out Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His actions. This is rububiyyah of lordship. Then he goes on to say, Allah sends down revelation to His messengers, as you all know, for the rectification, yeah, of people's lives, allowing them to be qualified, inshallah, to enter paradise by acting by the revelation, thus earning reward. I need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure, mardatillah. Lord of all things, whether He opposes these divine books that Allah has sent down while stubbornly rejecting the truth. Yeah. So whoever opposes, the divine books that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down while stubbornly rejecting the truth, mu'anid, the proof will be established upon him. The proof will be established upon him, thus earning him the recompense, yeah, of the disbelievers and the arrogant ones. And his abode will be in the hellfire forever, as Allah has mentioned. May Allah save us from this. Yeah. والقرآن كلام الله. Allah تكلم به سبحانه وتعالى. So the Quran is the speech of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke with it. والكتب المنزلة كلام الله. And likewise the books that have previously come down before. Yeah, the Injil, the Zabur, Suhuf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke this too. All of them. أوحاها إلى عباده. And He sent them down to His slaves. وكلم موسى تكليما وكلم محمدا ليلة الإسراء. وكلم محمدا ليلة الإسراء. So as he mentions, all of it is the speech of Allah, all of these books. He revealed them to His slaves. Allah spoke directly to Musa alayhi salam, and likewise Muhammad on the night of Isra, the journey. Yeah. And by the way, side note, it was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that initiated the speaking to Musa alayhi salam. Yeah. Obviously some Sufis may say, I can speak to Allah when I want. Yeah. This is incorrect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to speak to certain people. Yeah, it's not you that can choose to speak to Allah, literally anyway. Yeah. In the sense of Musa alayhi salam. نعم. وينادي يوم القيامة أين شركائي, and He will call out on the day of judgment, yeah, يوم القيامة, day of reckoning. أين شركائي, where are these so-called partners of me? Yeah, where are these so-called partners of mine? أين شركائي. وإذ نادى ربك موسى. وإذ نادى ربك موسى. Yeah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, and when your Lord called out to Musa. Yeah, when your Lord called out to Musa. النداء لا يكون إلا بحرف الصوت يليق بالله, لا يشبه صوت ولا حروف ولا كلام المخلوقين, فالله يتكلم وكلام صفة كمال, وكلام صفة كمال. This is the important part. So calling out doesn't occur except by way of letters and a voice. Yeah, calling out doesn't occur except with letters and a voice that is befitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not resembling the voice nor the letters or speech of the creation in the least. So Allah speaks, and speaking is a characteristic of completeness. Yeah? Speaking is a characteristic of completeness. صفة كمال. فالجماد لا يتكلم. So objects don't speak. والحيوانات لا تتكلم وهي أحط من البشر الذين يتكلمون. فالله كرم الإنسان وكرم الإنسان وكمله ومن كماله وأكمل كمالاته الكلام الذي تميز به على سائر المخلوقات. الذي تميز به على سائر المخلوقات. So he goes on to say, يعني animals and objects they don't really speak, and they are less than human beings who are capable of speaking. Allah honored the human beings and completed them. And from their completeness is that humans, have the ability to speak. Humans have the ability to speak and communicate. فالله الذي أعطى البشر والملائكة والجن العقلاء أعطاهم هذه القدرة على الكلام وصفة الكلام من صفات الكمال. So it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that gave human beings, the angels and the jinn, who possess intellect, uqala, the ability to speak, which is a characteristic of completeness and perfection. A characteristic of completeness and perfection. This is the important part, ikhwan. والله كامل يهب من كماله لمن يشاء من عباده ومخلوقاته فهي صفة كمال. العلم صفة كمال، القدرة صفة الكمال. فالذي يسلب عن الله الكلام والعلم والقدرة هذا تنقص الله غاية التنقص. So Allah is complete, and He grants from His completeness to whoever He wills from His slaves in creation. Knowledge and ability are also characteristics of completeness. Therefore, whoever removes from Allah the characteristic of speech, what characteristics of speech, knowledge and ability, then he is belittling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in an immense way. ولما قال أحد الكفار القريش. So when one of the disbelievers of the Qur'an said, إن هذا قول البشر, إن هذا قول البشر, يعني this is nothing but the words of a human being. This is nothing but the words of a human being. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed this. قال سأصليه سقر. قال سأصليه سقر. Allah said, I will cast him into the hellfire. إنه فكر وقدر فقتل كيف قدر ثم نظر ثم عبس وبصر ثم أدبر واستكبر فقال إن هذا إلا سحر يؤثر إن هذا إلا قول البشر سأصليه سقر. So he goes on to say in a translation of the ayah, verily he fought and plotted, so let him be cursed. How he plotted, and once more let him be cursed. How he plotted, then he fought. Then he frowned and he looked in a bad-tempered way. Then he turned back and was proud. Kibr. Then he said, this is nothing but magic from that of the old. This is nothing but the words of a human being. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will cast him into the hellfire. So your homework, inshallah, who is this ayah in reference to? Ahsant. As the brother mentioned, the ayah is mentioning هذه الآيات نزل في وليد ابن وغيره. As I mentioned, تفسير عبد الرحمن السعدي. عبد الرحمن السعدي. قول البشر مخلوق. So statements of mankind is created. فتوعده الله هذا الوعيد الشديد هذا الطعن في هذا القرآن بأنه سحر وبأنه قول البشر سبحانه وتعالى. So Allah threatened him with a severe punishment. And this is slandering the Quran, the ta'an, saying that it is magic or that it is the statement of a man. هذا التنقص والطعن في هذا القرآن الذي هو كلام الله. So this is obviously belittling the Quran and speaking ill of it. أنزله الله لهداية البشر. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent it down in order to guide the people. وليس بمخلوق لأن المعتزلة والجهمية والباطنية والروافض والخوارج وكل فئات الضلال تختلف مقالاتهم. نعم. So as for the Mu'tazila, the Batiniya, the Jahmiya, the Khawarij, all of these deviated groups within Islam, they had different statements concerning the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, they had different statements, all eventually arriving at the belief that Allah does not speak. حتى الأشاعرة, so even the Asha'ira تأثروا بالمعتزلة. آراؤهم كانوا يقولون الكلام هو صفة قائمة بذات الله سبحانه وتعالى لكن هذا القرآن ليس كلامه وإنما هو حكاية لكلامه. So this is what they said, the Asha'ira, the first generation anyway. You say speech is a characteristic which exists within Allah. Speech is a characteristic which exists within Allah. This is what the Asha'ira, the first one, said. But the Quran is not actual speech, but rather is a narration of his speech. This is what they were saying, Asha'ira, in the beginning. وكلامه صفة قائمة بذاته ليس بحرف ولا صوت ولكن ما تكلم. SubhanAllah. So it's not words, letters, or a voice, but Allah did not speak. This is what they're saying. ولكن ما تكلم هذا القرآن ليس كلامه نسأل الله العافية. Yeah, so the Shaykh Rabi' he goes on to say, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for safety and protection. But sadly from the later generations of the Asha'ira are those who blatantly say that the Quran is created. Yeah? من صرح بأن القرآن مخلوق مع العسف. That's what they said. فالقرآن كلام الله ليس بمخلوق. So as we keep mentioning, Ikhwan, the Quran is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and it's not created. وكلام الله كله ليس بمخلوق وهؤلاء لما بدأوا بهذه الفتنة يقولون كلام الله خلقه بغير محل. خلقه بغير محل. So these people, when they began this fitna, they were saying the speech of Allah created it without a place. Allah created it without a place. So some of the things they were saying. ويقولون كلام الله لكنه كما تقول ناقة الله فيقولون ناقة الله وبيت الله أي من إضافة المخلوق إلى الخالق وهذا من تلبيسهم وكذبهم. And they say, if it is the speech of Allah, but it is, if you are saying the she-camel of Allah, then they say the she-camel of Allah and the house of Allah, the Baytullah, they are examples of created things being attached to the Creator. All of these are lies to confuse and misguide the people. All these are lies, in order to misguide the people. It's confusion, basically. قال وليس بمخلوق. As he goes on to say, and it's not created. القرآن كلام الله ما يكفي ليش؟ لأن الجهمي والمعتزلي الذي ينكر أن القرآن كلام الله يقول كلام الله ولكن يريد أنه مخلوق مثل أن نقول ناقة الله وبيت الله مخلوق وناقة الله مخلوقة أليس كذلك. So now he goes on to say, Imam Ahmed mentioned, is it not created? Sorry, it's not created. I pose the question, why is it not sufficient to simply say the Quran is the speech of Allah? Answer, it's because the Jahmiyyah and the Mu'tazila deny the Quran is the speech of Allah, while they intend that it is created similar to how we say the she-camel of Allah, naqatullah, and the house of Allah, the bayt of Allah. And the she-camel of Allah and the house of Allah are all created things. Is that not so? Yani rhetorically you ask me. Is that not so? أليس كذلك؟ فهذا هو يعني فهو من هذا الباب ومن هذا التلاعب يقولون. So from this يعني angle, they intend to play games. Yeah. يقولون كلام الله لكنه مخلوق. أنت قلت كلام الله ليس بمخلوق لأنك لو قلت كلام الله وسكت وما قلت ليس بمخلوق يوافقك المعتزلي. يوافقك المعتزلي والجهمي يقول ليس لك كلام الله لكن هو يكمل بأن المخلوق وأنت أكملت أنه ليس بمخلوق. So he goes on to say, yeah, they're playing games of words basically. If it is the speech of Allah, but it is created, rather say the speech of Allah and it is not created. But if you say the speech of Allah and then remain silent, sakat, and did not say it is not created, the Mu'tazili and the Jahmi will agree with you. They will agree with you. If you do not add uncreated. If you do not add uncreated. They will say to you speech of Allah. But if you leave it blank, they will add or say that it is created, but rather you should fill in the blank any part and say it's not created. نعم. So now he goes on to say ولا يضعف أن يقول ليس بمخلوق قال كلام الله ليس بباء منه وليس منه شيء مخلوق ليس بباء منه وليس منه شيء مخلوق. So no one should be too weak to declare that the Quran is uncreated. For indeed Allah's speech is from Him. Yeah, His speech is from Him. Not separate from Him. Yeah, it's not separate from Him. ليس بباء منه. And nothing of Allah's attributes or His speech is created. يعني صفة الكلام صفة قائمة بذات الله تبارك وتعالى لكن يتكلم متى شاء وإذا شاء صفة الكلام. So meaning the speech of Allah is a characteristic of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mighty and majestic, but Allah speaks when and if He wills. He speaks when and if He wills. كلام الله ليس بباء منه. كلام الله ليس بباء منه. So the statement of Imam Ahmed, rahimahullah. For indeed Allah's speech is not separate from Him. يرد على المعتزلة الذين يقولون خلقه بغير محل. So he's refuting the Mu'tazila, those that say that Allah created His speech without a place, بغير محل. Rather, Allah's speech, ability, and will are from His innate and essential characteristics. And these qualities are from the absolute completeness. نعم. وكما أنه يخلق متى شاء يتكلم متى شاء. So just as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates when He wills, He speaks when He wills. Simple. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in His noble book, إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. Yeah? Just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in His noble book, verily His command when He intends a thing, yeah, it is that, and He says to it be, and it is. Yeah, verily His command when He intends a thing, it is only that He says to it be, kun fayakun, and it is. فقوله ليس بباء منه. Yeah, so as for His statement, not separate from Him. Yeah, not separate from Him. أي أن كلامه تعالى قائم بذاته وأما القرآن فيسمعه وكلامه يسمع. عرفتم. So he goes on to say, this means that Allah's speech is an innate quality. It's an innate quality. As for the Quran, it is heard and Allah's speech is heard as well. Is this understood? Yani not separate from Him. ليس بباء منه مقصوده أن هذه الصفة قائمة بذاته ردا على المعتزلة يقولون خلقه بغير محل. So the intent behind this statement is that speech is an innate characteristic of Allah and that it is direct, or this here is a direct refutation upon the Mu'tazila, who said that Allah created His speech without a place. Naam. Now, in regards to the ayah, shay here, as Abdurrahman al-Sa'di has mentioned, is tafsir. نكرة في سياق الشرط. نكرة في سياق الشرط. تعم كل شيء في حال غير تمانع أو غير مانع, I believe that is. So something unspecified shay here. Something unspecified in a condition or a conditional context, yeah, in a conditional context. Therefore, it encompasses everything in a general sense. I.e., when Allah says kun, yeah, kun, be, and it happens at that very moment, fil hal. Yeah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it, it happens at that very moment, fil hal. Without anything to prevent it from happening. يعني بغير مانع. Yeah? قال وليس منه شيء مخلوق وإياك ومناظرة من أحدث فيه. And nothing of Allah's attributes or His speech is created. Also be cautious of munadhara, debating with anyone who has innovated concerning this affair. انظر كيف يؤكد, لكن هنا لما احتج رضي الله عنه المناظرة ناظرة لما ألجأ إليها, ناظرة ابن أبي دؤاد, والناظرة غيره عند الضرورة وعند الحاجة وعند من يريد أن ينتقي الدعوة والحق. So he goes on to say here, إخوان, once again going back to munadhara, which is debate. Yeah. Notice how Imam Ahmed, rahimahullah, is placing emphasis upon this issue. But when he needed to debate, he debated. For example, he debated Ibn Abi Du'ad, yeah, and other than him, when it was a necessity, عند الحاجة أو ضرورة. And this person was seeking, if this person happened to be from them, not Ibn Abi Du'ad, if he was seeking the truth and the true understanding of Islam, he would do this, he would debate. ومن قال باللفظ وغيره ومن وقف فيه فقال لا أدري مخلوق أو ليس بمخلوق. So going back to the actual text of DaaruSsunnah, the literal text. Or anyone who says his recitation is created or other than this, and whoever hesitates in this matter and says, I don't know whether it is created or not. He explains this. هنا لما جاءت الفتنة القول بخلق القرآن. So when the trial, if you like, of the utterance of the Qur'an came about, وحصل افتراق بين أهل السنة وبين الجهمية والمعتزلة وغيرهم نشأ من ينتمي إلى السنة من يقول القرآن كلام الله واللفظ به مخلوق. فأنكر عليهم Imam Ahmed. So when the fitna occurred of the statement of the Quran is created, and Ahlul Sunnah came and separated from the Jahmiyyah and the Mu'tazila and other than them, the people of misguidance, they came about those who ascribed to the Sunnah and said the Quran is the speech of Allah. And my utterance of the Quran is created, so Imam Ahmed refuted them. رد عليهم. لأنك لما تقول لفظي بالقرآن مخلوق كلمة اللفظ تحتمل أن يراد بها الملفوظ. So that's because if you're to say my utterance of the Quran is created, the word utterance, lafz, can potentially refer to that which is uttered, meaning the Quran itself, and it is possible that it can mean words which the speaker is speaking with and uttering. وتحتمل أن يراد بها نفس اللفظ الذي يتكلم به ويلفظ هو المتكلم. فلما كانت تحتمل بالباطل وقد يستغلها الجهمية والمعتزلة وغيرهم ممن يقول القرآن مخلوق قد يستغلها لتضليل الناس لفظي بالقرآن مخلوق ويقصد الملفوظ الكلام. So he goes on to say basically, so when it was the case that the phrase could possibly contain falsehood, it could be exploited by the Jahmiyyah, istighlal, it could be exploited. So the Mu'tazila and other than them, from those that say the Quran is created, they exploited it in order to misguide the people. They used it and exploited this term in order to misguide the people because they come with something that's not really known. It's not something, subhanAllah, the Sahaba spoke with. It's not something the great Imam spoke with. So they're using it in order to obviously misguide the people. So a person may say, my qira'ah, recitation, or utterance of the Quran is created, and he may intend the actual speech which is being uttered. قال إن قال لفظي بالقرآن مخلوق فهو مبتدع. Then Imam Ahmed, he goes on to say, whoever says my recitation of the Qur'an is created is an innovator. Yeah? So he actually makes clear tabdi' here. Obviously, we're going to make note upon this. Obviously, generally speaking, when it comes to tabdi', declaring someone an innovator of some sort, there are things that have to be put into place. But someone can be a mubtadi' from his asl straight, without even knowing. We'll make sharh of this a bit later on, inshallah, one of our durus to come. Because, there's a lot of controversy behind this, but someone can be a mubtadi' from his asl. If he's a khariji, he believes in, for example, doing khuruj all the time, and he believes the asl from the usul Islam, this man is mubtadi' without a doubt. For example, if a man believes in cursing the Sahaba, what is he? He's a Rafidi. You don't say he's a Sunni. It's crazy. He's mubtadi'. صراحة frankly, this is man how he is. Yeah? ومن وقف فيه فقال لا أدري مخلوق أو ليس بمخلوق وإنما هو كلام الله فهذا صاحب بدعة. So he goes on to say, whoever hesitates in this matter and says, I don't know whether it's created or not created, it is just a speech of Allah. This person has, he's translated here, has fallen into innovation. But I think that Allah, it seems like the correct translation, he's a person of innovation. أنت تقول كلام الله ليس مخلوق. لا تقل لفظي بالقرآن مخلوق لأنها وسيلة يتذرع بها أهل الباطل يتوصل بها إلى قول بأن القرآن مخلوق. So it's a bit long, إخوان. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so when you say Allah's speech is not created, do not say my recitation of the Quran is created. Because it is a means that the people of falsehood use to eventually arrive at the statement that the Quran is created. We'll do the questions after بإذن الله. It's quite a long one. وكذلك لا تتوقف اجزم بأن القرآن كلام الله غير مخلوق كما هو مقتضى القرآن والسنة وما عليه الصحابة والسلف الصالح أن القرآن كلام الله ليس بمخلوق. أن القرآن كلام الله ليس بمخلوق. So rather be firm, ikhwan. Idzim. Be very firm. The Quran is uncreated. The Quran is an uncreated speech of Allah. And this is what is affirmed by the Quran, the Sunnah, as well as the companions and the righteous predecessors. إذا توقف الرجل شك في أمره وهو بدعة تجهم فيعني لما نجمت هذه الفتنة واشتدت جاءت مثل هذه الألفاظ والبدعة ومنهم من يتوقف لابد من الصراحة نقول القرآن كلام الله غير مخلوق وانتهى. So if a man has hesitancy, he's hesitant or reluctant to say that the Quran is the uncreated speech of Allah, then there is doubt concerning his affair. For indeed this is innovation, it's bid'ah. And from the ways of the Jahmiyyah, And when this fitna appeared and its severity intensified, اشتدت الفتنة, these innovated wordings came along. These alfaz. There were those who hesitated to take a stance that the Quran is not created. You find that, fence sitters. But it is a must that we clearly state that the Quran is the speech of Allah and is not created, and this is the end of it. وانتهى. لا نقول لفظ بالقرآن مخلوق ولا يتوقف، لا يجوز التوقف، يجوز نعم same thing as he just mentioned. نعم. So we'll mention this as well. We'll skip a couple pages ahead. So he goes on, وَمَنْ وَقَفَ فِيهِ فَقَالَ أَدْرِي مَخْلُوقٌ أَوْ لَيْسَ بِمَخْلُوقٍ. Yeah, whoever hesitates in this matter, whoever hesitates in this matter and says, I don't know whether it's created or not created. Shaykh al-Bait goes and says, ما شاء الله يتظاهر بالورع فقال له عدد من الناس وأسقطهم أحمد وأسقطهم أهل السنة وبدعوهم. So this person is trying to appear as if he's pious, the Shaykh goes on to say. And this was stated by a number of people as well. But Imam Ahmed and others from Ahlul Sunnah exposed and criticized the likes of these individuals and declared them to be innovators. ومنهم يعقوب ibn Shayba. ومنهم يعقوب ibn Shayba. So from them is Ya'qub ibn Shayba. من أئمة الحديث, from the great scholars in hadith. لما توقف فيه القرآن قال لا أدري مخلوق أو غير مخلوق. So he kind of stopped at the point whether or not the Quran was created or not. He said, I don't know. فقال Imam Ahmed مبتدئ ضال. So Imam Ahmed said he's innovated, misguided. Yeah? Straight. I'm not saying for you to go around like, utilizing this very speech. Imam Ahmed can say this. Yes, لا شك ولا ريب. There's no doubt about that. مبتدئ ضال واستشاره الخليفة. Naam. So he goes on to say, Imam Ahmed went on to say that he was a misguided innovator. And the Caliph at that time sought Imam Ahmed's advice to give the position of judge to Ya'qub bin Shayba. Perhaps he was the top judge, but Ahmed said no, for indeed he is misguided. And he goes on to say, والله أحمد فضل أن يوظف اليهود والنصارى ولا يوظف أهل البدع لخطورتهم. So it says that Imam Ahmad would prefer to employ a person that happens to be a Jew or Christian rather than a person of innovation, due to obviously his khutura, his danger. And then he goes on to say, in that case, due to their mischief, it may spread and cause corruption and dissension within the mujtama', society. From within, has anyone caused any more harm to the Muslims than any people of innovation? And has anyone caused the Muslims to be in a state of humiliation, under the feet of the Christians and the Jews, except the people of innovation? كل البلاء الذي أصاب الأمة من أهل البدعة. Yes, all of this is it's tragic. It's a tribulation. It's inflicted the ummah because of the people of innovation. As we can see now, just a mithal, an example, kharij ala dars. An example outside the lesson, khawarij, bombings and shootings and all of this. Allah musta'an. It just makes it difficult for Muslims, generally speaking, to travel. Especially with the authorities, like who are you, the questioning. The awam, they suffer. And they likewise see anyone that's religious or anyone that so-called looks like them to be from them. It's just the Ahlul Sunnah, the Ahlul Bid'ah. They're the ones going out there causing mischief. And then he goes on to say, حتى ابن تيمية قال أن الدولة الأموية لما وقعت في البدعة وقع رئيسهم مروان الحمار في قول الجعد. So Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned that when the Umayyad dynasty, it fell into innovation, and its leaders, from them Marwan al-Himar, adopted the belief of Ja'ad, which Ja'ad bin Dirham. قال كان سببا في سقوط هذه الدولة, and this was the reason why the dawla toppled, it came down. البدعة نعم هذه البدعة الآن لا تساوي شيئا بالنسبة للبدعة التي حدثت الآن. So the innovation during those times, does not equal the innovation that we see in our times, he goes on to say. نعم. So to finish off, he has full into innovation. يقول هذا صاحب بدعة مثل من قال هو مخلوق وإنما هو كلام الله ليس بمخلوق الذي توقف والذي يقول لفظي بالقرآن مخلوق عن هذه الأصناف ومن أذيالهم وأذنابهم. نعم. So he has fallen into deviation, yeah, and he is just like the one who says, the Quran is created. Or rather, the Quran is uncreated, yani it's the uncreated speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whoever hesitates and does not take a clear stance, mawqif as-sahih, and then says his recitation or utterance the Quran is created, holding to their tails and following their footsteps in this matter. Yeah. So I'll read something, it's a little article from Abu Iyaad. Inshallah, hopefully it brings a bit more tawdih. I was going to have it more printed out and something, but I'll just read it from the top here. Yeah. Apologies, it's on my phone. I normally bring it on a piece of paper. So he goes to say, Allah, in his essence, he is uncreated and eternal. Therefore, his attributes, which include his speech, therefore his attributes, his sifat, which includes his speech, yeah, are also eternal. His actions tied to his will. Now, his actions is, af'al are tied to his mashi'ah, are also uncreated. So whatever comes from Allah in terms of speech and actions that are tied to his will, then they are uncreated. Because he, in essence, is uncreated. As for his creatures, then, they also speak and act, however, their speech and action are created because their essences are created. And they came to be after not being. From here we should understand, nafham, that the Qur'an is an attribute of Allah in the sense of that because it is a subset of his speech. Then it enters into his attributes of speech. Yeah, then it enters into his attributes of speech, kalam. Allah speaks more than just the Quran. He speaks as and when he wills, and past books are also from his speech. As we mentioned, and he will have speech on the day of judgment, Yawm al-Qiyamah, and so on. So the Quran is his speech, his attribute of speech is uncreated. And hence the Quran which he spoke is also uncreated. Once that is clear, is that clear, Ikhwan, yeah? Then we make a distinction between the speech which came from Allah, who spoke it, and between all the subsequent forms and mediums of transmission. Mediums of transmission through which these words are conveyed. All forms and mediums of transmission remain the uncreated attribute of Allah, because those words came from him. And when we make a distinction between the actions of Allah's servants and whatever physical mediums are involved in recording, yeah, expressing and conveying the speech, and between the speech itself that was spoken by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the original speech that Allah spoke with is uncreated, ikhwan. Allah's speech is eternal because it is an attribute of his, and all his attributes are eternal. Likewise, his essence is eternal as well, is that. As he said, the Quran, which Allah spoke with according to his will, and when he willed, is from his speech, and this speech may be recorded in many different ways, through different mediums. Yeah, it can be recorded through different forms of transmission. For example, he goes on to say, it is memorized in the hearts and minds. It's recorded by paper, ink. It exists on electronic mediums, like for example, your phone. And it can be attached onto rocks. It can likewise be vocalized. So in all of these cases, the medium and process in every single case is created, and it's from the action of the servant, from the Iyaad. However, what is being conveyed what is being conveyed. Yani the words being conveyed by whatever mediums, they came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they are uncreated because they are from his attribute of speech. So to make this more clear, with mithal, inshallah it will be wadih, yeah? And this example from within the creation and to Allah belongs, yani a loftier example. But this is, inshallah, something we can use. Imagine Zayd makes a statement. Zayd makes a statement, roses and daffodils are beautiful. Roses and daffodils are beautiful. And let us just say, for argument's sake, no one has ever spoken these words before. Let us say these are unique words. Kalimat farida. Yeah? Unique words. Now Zayd is the originator of these words, sir. He's the originator of these words. And they belong to him. They are from his speech. Now imagine Khalid hears these words. سمع خالد كلامه كلماته. And he memorizes them. يعني حفظها. يعني he memorizes all of these kalimat. And then writes them down. Now Khalid repeats these words aloud. Yeah, audibly. We will hear his voice and all of the associated apparatuses, tools, the apparatus are created, no doubt. But we make a distinction here between the actual voice through which we hear Khalid expressing the words. Yeah, roses and daffodils are beautiful. And the actual words themselves. The sound that we hear from Khalid is his voice. Yeah. It is not the voice of Zayd. Khalid's voice will be different. So we distinguish between Khalid's act of pronouncing and expressing, between his voice and what is being conveyed. Yeah, what is being conveyed through his voice. And the same can be said with respect to what he wrote down. There is the paper and the ink. But the paper and ink are not the actual words. The words originated as the speech of Zayd, so they belong to Zayd as his speech and will always remain his. So they belong to Zayd as his speech and will always remain his attribute. So now Khalid may transmit the speech of Zayd, and it may reach millions of people and go through many types of media and forms of conveyance. In all cases, we make a difference between the mode of transmission and what is transmitted. What is transmitted will always remain the speech of Zayd and not of anyone else. Even if those millions of people repeat these words in their own voices, the voices are their voices. But what is being conveyed through the voice, as in the words, they are Zayd's, they came from him. The modes of transmission recorded or on a piece of paper, on tape, or on a rock, smartphone, paper, notepad, voice, are not the same thing as the original speech. Yeah? So now in this example, everything is created, Zayd is created, so everything that emanates from him of speech and action is created. Yeah, so you always want to say, it's a long one, ikhwan, afwan. Yeah? So once we understand the above example, yeah, we are in better position to understand the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, the speech of Allah is an attribute, and the Qur'an, which is a subset of it, Allah spoke the Qur'an, gave heard and preserved it and conveyed it to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet conveyed it, peace be upon him, and it was memorized and written and subsequently transmitted. And when a Muslim today says, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, all praise is due to Allah, his voice is simply repeating and conveying words that were originally spoken by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The voice is a created medium, and this medium is conveying words. Those words originated with Allah. He spoke them. Thus, if we ask whose words are Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we can only say that Allah Sorry, we can only say that they are Allah's uncreated words. What do we mean here? We mean here not the voice of anyone and nor any paper or ink, but the words independent of the modes of transmission, because these words were spoken by Allah. They came from Him. And because His essence is uncreated, His speech is uncreated, and thus the Quran is uncreated. So the Quran we have present with us. Al-Qur'an alladhi mawjood baynana. Yeah, the Quran that we have today with us. When we speak from the angle of medium, then the medium, i.e. paper, ink, voice, it is created, and the actions of Muslim reciting the Quran are created. As for the words, then those words came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are uncreated because they were spoken by a being that never had a beginning and was never originated, and those attributes are therefore uncreated, and whose actions are therefore uncreated. I hope that was mafhum, inshallah. Yeah, I do apologize. It is a long one. We could round it up there, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. So we could say Kalamullah, Al-Qur'an, Kalamullah wa laysa bimakhluq. Yeah, this is the mahal shahid. This is like the moral of the story. This is the main point for today. The Quran is the speech of Allah, laysa bimakhluq, not created. I'm a bit tired. Jazakumullah khair, yeah. I do apologize for going on. Yeah. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam taslima. Jazakumullah khair.